Hello and welcome to A Walk in My District, a new video series we have at the City of Raleigh. My name is Damien Graham and I'm with the City of Raleigh, and today we have with us Councilmember David Knight. Councilmember, great to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
So part of this series we get to we ask the council member to choose a spot in their district that they would like to highlight, and you chose?
I've chosen the 5 Points area.
5 Points area. Why did you choose the 5 Points area?
Well, for a lot of reasons, but personally, it has a lot of meaning to me. I lived down on Bickett Boulevard for 10 years, still own a home there. I met my wife while living around here. She had lived on Hudson Street. I moved in there. We had our first child while living here, so it has a lot of memories. Jogging in the neighborhood, playing basketball down on in Roanoke Park, coming up here obviously to the restaurants and bars, going to the movies over at the Rialto. So it has a lot of memories for me, very personal, and I know it does for a lot of my constituents as well. It's just a very happy place and soulful place, and it has a lot of meaning to a lot of people in town.
Well, it certainly does. So let's just jump right to some of the bigger challenges the city is facing.
Sure.
One of them is speeding and just traffic in general.
Right.
But here in this particular area, speeding has been an issue. What is the city doing to address that?
Sure, and that's another reason I wanted to come here. This is a special place for a lot of reasons, and one of them is that it's a mixed-use district. As you look around, there are residences here of all types: apartments, condos, homes, houses, but also small businesses, which makes it a great place. It makes it walkable, it makes it pedestrian friendly, but it also has its challenges, and a lot of that has to do with traffic and the amounts of traffic and the speeding of traffic through here. You know, we sit along Glenwood Avenue, which is a major corridor. It's also a state highway, and so it's the 5 Points area is not only a destination, it's also a corridor where a lot of people are coming through, and so it does have challenges that we are working on now at the City Council. One of the main things we're looking at is how do we calm down traffic? How do we slow down traffic? How do we make it safer? We have had some pretty bad car crashes here recently, and it can be dangerous if cars are speeding, if drivers are distracted or under the influence. And there's a lot of things that we have been doing, but they're not permanent solutions, and we've got to come up with some permanent solutions to deal with these issues. We have done things like more stop signs at intersections, traffic humps, and then we've also recently put in some more speed indicator signage right along here. So that's, I think, going to be very helpful to keep people's attention on what they're doing while they're driving. And so those are some things that we have been doing. Now, if you want to talk about the future and some permanent things that we're looking at, we have just, the council passed a budget item that allows for a safety and streetscape study for 5 Points, which I think is a very exciting, something that I push for, and that I think will really allow us to look to the future for permanent solutions to this area involving traffic and pedestrians.
One of the things you talked about, 5 Points, it's unique. It's one of the first more original mixed-use business districts, business residential. What does the future of business look like for 5 Points?
The future is a bright one. As we know, the last 2 years have been very difficult for small businesses in general. It's been difficult for everyone. But I think I've been impressed by how this area has weathered the pandemic and it has coming through it. I think looking forward, there's great opportunities. I think this study will lead to some great opportunities for this area. Another thing that I've been really pushing that is going on here is that they have a small business association called the 5 Points Business Association that's really working on a micro level with the neighbors, with the residents, with other business owners to really work on making this a sustainable place, to even raising the quality of services and activities that you can do around here. So I think that's really exciting. It's something that the city is supporting and that we're working with them in partnership to make this a place for families to come for decades into the future. So that's exciting.
So this area, like many in Raleigh, have been facing a lot of challenges. We are in the process now at the city of developing our budget to help address some of those challenges. What are some things you have identified that the city needs to focus on as we look at making those big investments moving forward?
Sure. Certainly coming through the pandemic, there is a lot of pressure that's being put on the budget, but I am optimistic. I think we do have some opportunities in the coming year in this budget. One thing is we're going to have federal funding, some one-time federal funding that I think is going to help us be able to maybe initiate some new programs and projects. But certainly we're going to keep our eye on our priorities, which is increasing and improving affordable housing in the city, citywide, housing opportunities. We're also looking obviously at transit and transportation issues. That's very important to me in my district to deal with that. Parks and greenways. We have a great opportunity coming up next year with a bond that we're going to put on the ballot in November for parks and greenways improvements and growth. Certainly Dix Park is going to be part of that. I'm a big supporter and ambassador of Dix Park and what it can be for the city, and I'm looking forward to doing all we can to work towards getting Dix Park going on the ground, and that's going to be exciting, as well as other improvements and additions to our greenway and park system.
Well, Councilmember Knight, thank you for sharing all that. It's certainly a lot to look forward to. We appreciate you taking time with us today, and we appreciate you taking time with us. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.